California. Sunshine, beaches, and Hollywood, right? Well, that's only part of it. This state hides some of the strangest and most extreme geography on Earth. From fire tornadoes and singing dunes to lakes that vanish and come back from the dead. So buckle up. Here are 50 wild geography facts about California that sound fake but are totally real. 50. A lake older than civilization. Mono Lake is at least 760,000 years old, maybe millions. Its salty, alkaline water is 3 times saltier than the ocean, creating bizarre limestone tufa towers and supporting shrimp, diving flies, and microbes that thrive where few others can. 49. The sea that was an accident. The Salton Sea, California's largest lake, formed in 1905 when engineers lost control of a Colorado River canal. It flooded the desert for 2 years. Now it's shrinking, but remains a crucial stop for migrating birds. 48. The sleeping supervolcano. Beneath Mammoth Lakes lies Long Valley Caldera, a supervolcano that erupted 760,000 years ago. The blast covered much of California in ash, and today hot springs and CO2 vents hint that magma still churns below. 47. When LA became the tropics. In 1939, a tropical storm slammed Los Angeles with 65-mile-per-hour winds and 5 inches of rain in one day. Floods killed over 100 people and led to California's first major weather office. 46. Fire tornado. In 2018, the Carr Fire near Redding created a real fire tornado. Winds hit 143 miles per hour, bending steel and melting cars. Scientists rated it an EF3, one of nature's scariest hybrids. 45. Highest and lowest neighbors. Mount Whitney, 14,505 feet, and Death Valley's Badwater Basin, 282 feet below sea level, sit just 88 miles apart, the highest and lowest points in the lower 48. 44. The ground that never sleeps. Over 700 named faults make California shake about 10,000 times a year. The San Andreas isn't one crack, but a vast shifting zone that's been active for 20 million years. 43. The moving mud monster. The Nyland Geyser, a bubbling gray mud pool, has crawled across Imperial County since 2007, swallowing roads and train tracks. It moves about 20 feet a year, the only traveling mud pot known on Earth. 42. The sliding stones. At Death Valley's racetrack playa, rocks glide across the desert floor, leaving trails. The secret? Thin ice sheets form after rare rains, and wind pushes the rocks slowly across slick mud. 41. The sinking valley. California's Central Valley has sunk nearly 30 feet in places since the 1920s because of groundwater pumping. The land literally collapses under its own weight, a disaster visible from space. 40. Tree world records. California hosts the tallest trees, redwoods, the biggest giant sequoias, and the oldest bristlecone pines. One redwood is 380 feet tall. The General Sherman tree weighs 1,385 tons, and Methuselah, a bristlecone pine, is almost 5,000 years old. 39. Trees that drink fog. Redwoods absorb fog through their needles, turning mist into water. Up to 40% of their summer moisture comes from fog drip. 38. The flies that scuba dive. Mono Lake's flies walk underwater inside air bubbles. Their water-repelling hairs let them dive down, feed, and surface bone dry, a trick even Mark Twain wrote about. 37. The giant drain plug. Lake Berryessa's glory hole looks like a portal. a massive spillway that can swallow 360,000 gallons per second to prevent flooding. 36. When camels roamed California. Fossils near Barstow reveal that ancient camels, mammoths, and even flamingos once lived in what's now the Mojave Desert. 35. The Singing Dunes. At Kelso Dunes, moving sand hums when it slides, creating deep, resonant tones that echo for miles, the desert's natural music. 34. LA's secret land grab. In 1909, Los Angeles annexed a thin 16-mile-long shoestring strip just to reach the port of San Pedro, securing its gateway to the Pacific. 33. A lake that could flood California. Lake Tahoe is 1,645 feet deep. If drained evenly, it would cover all of California with 14 inches of water, and it never freezes, even in winter. 32. The world's smallest mountain range. The Sutter Buttes, north of Sacramento, are a ring of volcanic hills just 10 miles wide, nicknamed the world's smallest mountain range. 31. The ghost trees. Some albino redwoods can't make food, so they survive by sharing roots with normal trees, even absorbing heavy metals, nature's quiet recyclers. 30. Yosemite's moonbows. Under a bright full moon, mist from Yosemite Falls bends light into glowing arcs, rare moonbows that appear only under perfect conditions. 29. When cities collide. The San Andreas Fault drags Los Angeles north about 2 inches per year. In 15 million years, LA and San Francisco could be neighbors. 28. The city that never happened. California City was planned to rival LA, with roads and lots laid out in the desert. The people never came. Today, it's a ghost grid visible from space. 27. The mini mammoths. Trapped on the Channel Islands, giant mammoths evolved into dwarf versions just 5 feet tall, an ice age case of shrink to survive. 26. Nature's stone honeycombs. At Devil's Postpile, lava cooled into hexagonal columns, later polished by glaciers, a geometric masterpiece carved by fire and ice. 25. The world's biggest tree. The General Sherman tree in Sequoia National Park stands 275 feet tall, 36 feet wide, and weighs over 1,300 tons. And it's still growing after 2,000 years. 24. The beach party fish. Every spring, grunion fish ride waves ashore to spawn, then wriggle back to sea. Thousands of silver flashes under the moonlight. 23. The Rainbow Hot Springs. Lassen's Bumpus Hell bubbles at 320 degrees Fahrenheit, filled with steaming pools and colorful minerals, a reminder that California sits on living fire. 22. The lake that became dust. Owens Lake once spanned 110 square miles before LA diverted its water. The dry lake bed turned toxic until restoration efforts reflooded parts of it. 21. The lake that came back. In 2023, storms revived Tulare Lake, once the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi. Over 100,000 acres of farmland vanished underwater. Nature's memory at work. 20. The Shifting Creek. At Wallace Creek, earthquakes have pushed a river channel 400 feet sideways over time. One 1857 quake shifted it 30 feet in a day. Stand here and you're literally between tectonic plates. 19. The world's hottest rain. In 2018, raindrops fell through 119-degree Fahrenheit air in Imperial Valley, the hottest rainfall ever recorded. Some drops evaporated mid-air. 18. The Tar Pit Time Machine. The La Brea tar pits have trapped animals for tens of thousands of years. mammoths, dire wolves, saber-toothed cats. Millions of fossils still bubble up in downtown LA. 17. National Park Capital. California has 9 national parks, more than any other state, covering deserts, forests, volcanoes, and glaciers all within a day's drive. 16. The town that quit America. In 1850, Rough and Ready declared independence over taxes. When nearby towns stopped selling them whiskey, they rejoined the U.S. 3 months later. 15. The town named Zizix. Created in the 1940s as a fake miracle spa, Zizix was named to be the last word in health. The spa failed, but its bizarre name remains a roadside legend. 14. The redwoods that hold hands. Redwoods intertwine their shallow roots for strength, a living network that keeps entire forests standing together through storms and quakes. 13. The Lost Coast. Engineers abandoned this 60-mile stretch of rugged cliffs, too steep for roads. It remains one of the last untouched coastlines in the U.S. 12. California's coldest night. In 1937, Boca hit 45 degrees Fahrenheit, colder than Alaska that year. Its mountain valley traps cold air like a freezer. 11. The Pink Lakes of San Francisco Bay. Salt ponds near the bay glow pink, orange, or red from algae and bacteria thriving in super salty water. A living paint palette visible from planes. 10. The Perfect Desert Dome. Sima Dome rises 1,500 feet in a flawless curve across 75 square miles, one of the world's most symmetrical natural domes. 9. The Alien Towers of Mono Lake. Calcium-rich springs build strange tufa towers underwater, now exposed after the lake level dropped, creating an otherworldly landscape. 8. The Secret Tallest Tree. Hidden deep in Redwood National Park, Hyperion stands 380 feet tall. Its location secret to protect it from visitors. 7. The world's largest steam field. The geysers north of San Francisco power 1.4 million homes with natural geothermal steam, clean energy straight from Earth's core. 6. Catalina's wild bison. 14 bison brought for a 1924 film were left behind on Catalina Island. Now, about 150 descendants still roam free, Hollywood's lasting herd. 5. The Sci-Fi Desert. The Trona Pinnacles, 500 limestone spires, rise from a dry lake bed, used in Star Trek and Planet of the Apes for their alien look. 4. The pocket-sized island fox. Each channel island has its own tiny fox subspecies, some no bigger than a cat. Once near extinction, they've made one of the fastest wildlife recoveries ever. 3. The Great Flood of 1861. Rain fell for 45 straight days, turning the Central Valley into a 300-mile-long inland sea. The state capital moved to San Francisco temporarily. 2. The oldest tree on Earth. Methuselah, a bristlecone pine in the White Mountains, is nearly 5,000 years old, older than the pyramids. Its location is kept secret for protection. 1. The Opera House in the Desert. In Death Valley Junction, ballerina Marta Beckett built the Amargosa Opera House and painted her own audience on the walls when no one showed up, then danced for them every week for decades. From trees that drink fog to lakes that rise from the dead, California is a world of extremes, alive, ancient, and ever-changing. If you love this, hit subscribe and join us for more hidden geography and unbelievable places right here on Hidden on Earth.